It's literally two people. It was like part three, and I was like, the first person I was like, I'll get to. A second person I was like, damn, I kind of did say this, even though I don't think I said it on a video I released recently. I don't know, but anyways, if you want more parts, put some shit down in the comments because like I be making these videos and like people will like it and watch it, but like nobody will say anything. So I'm like, did you fuck with the video? Or was it like all right? Like what's good? Anyways, but enough of that. Let's get into part three to what if Deku had a harem quirk. So basically we left off with these niggas being tired. Don't forget now they are dummy young, so it's not like that. I don't remember their exact ages, but like 7, 6, like they're still like that young. So what ended up happening is, total they all go to sleep, eat some food. Don't ask how they got food. DK was like, don't worry about that, cause he a little nigga too. Don't worry about that. Anyways, so what ended up happening was they in this bad area, right? And so only like a night's passed. Everybody's parents is worried, but like very mildly, cause like we'll just say they go out and play every day. So Bakugo's mom isn't too worried. Deku's mom's worried to a certain degree. Uraraka's parents are very concerned, and that's pretty much it. DK, he's an anomaly. So anyway, they're trying to get back home, but then like once they find a map or somebody has a phone, we could say Todoroki's got a phone, DK don't matter. They look on the GPS and see how far they are. Yeah, that's gonna be like an 8-hour like journey to get back home just on foot. So like, and they're in a very bad area, and like the patrols and heroes in this area is like 50-ish. Like, there's people there, but trying to find someone. Plus, there's also rumors that heroes here are kind of like not heroes, or don't tell Stain this, but fake heroes. And so, anyways, what really happened is they just scheming like, how we gonna get back home? They look at Deku like, can you use that quirk? And he's like, I can't. And I can't use a quirk of someone. Like, I have to interact with them, or they have to be basically under my control in a sense, or be affected by my quirk, which sounds more like what he would say. And so they're like, so what do we do? And they're like, I could use a blend of, I can't use Uraraka's quirk because her quirk just makes us float. That'll get us there faster, but that'll still at bare minimum be 5 hours. And then what if we get tired on the way there, since me and Uraraka would be carrying both of y'all, right? And so, and on top of that, I don't even think everyone's fully healed from the fight, as everyone proceeds to look at their battered and bruised clothes and stuff, and they're like, you got a point. So now what we would be doing, right, is that DK would be getting clothes for everybody. Everybody's upgrading, they fit on some anime type beat, right? And then they're just like, so what do? We could try to get help from a hero, but if they're strong, they might kill us. Deku says, wait, if we can find some pro female heroes, even if they do try to kill us, I can use my quirk as a last resort. We should be able to get out of there. And if they got a strong quirk, or if since Deku, let's just say Deku still kind of stalks people or like has a quirk fetish damn near, we could make it to where he's like, yeah, I could use this as like my last resort. Plus, I could also use their quirk and basically have them out of commission or wanting to fight for me, depending on how strong I use it. But if I do use this, Uraraka, you're gonna have to stay away from me. Like, he had a problem when he was full when his quirk first activated, and let's just say, if it was shown, it would be very like hentai like and it would just kind of be like all the 4-year-olds and stuff are just running towards Deku. He's 4'2". And then the teacher's running over and everything. And then you just see the one guy like, what's going on? And Bakugo remembers this too. And he's like, yeah, I don't want to repeat of what happened the last time. It kind of took his shine, but anyways. So with this being said, they're like, they all agree and set out. They got some rations and foods on them, so they chilling. So they're going around, looking around, and they're all staying fairly close to one another. And they're trying to be careful, okay? So they all see a few people or a few thugs bullying some, we could just say they're bullying some no life or someone insignificant. And They walk by and see what's happening. And then, you fucking freak. This is all you hear. You freak. You think you were gonna use your quirk on me and get away with it? Yeah, I don't give a fuck if you got a quirk or not. That quirk's a villain quirk. Everyone just kind of tenses up when they hear this, but they keep walking. You got a damn brainwashing quirk. Only a villain would have that quirk. And as you see Shinso down on the ground, blocking himself. And he's like, but I gotta eat. As he like tries to buck up. Shut up. You don't have... Everybody, right when you hear that, Bakugo, Deku, Todoroki, all look with like a dead serious grin. While one of them like, what are y'all looking at? He backs up a little bit. Y'all brats no way. Like, don't tell me you letting those brats scare you. It's like 5. And then Deku, without a moment's glance, looks barely at his homies and looks back and is like, he takes off his glove, reaches down, reaches over, not down, but reaches backward, hits Uraraka, and this is it. I'm sorry. And she's like, no, it's okay. Like, she even damn near extends her arm out and like basically lets it happen. And then like her eyes go to heart, blushing everywhere, and she like kneels down a little bit. And then Deku just says, kill them. And then Bakugo just like, and just starts laying down like these tiny ass explosions, because you gotta think he's still a young little homie, right? And then Todoroki basically puts a shard of ice, taking down 3 of them, while Deku just fights the last one. And he goes straight for the leader, obviously, on some Luffy type beat, and just grabs that nigga, just and sends that dude flying. And then while all this is happening, he screams, Todoroki, let your ice go. And then he's like, he basically burns them, but like a light burn. Deku touches all of them, and then boom. So what ended up happening now is they look at him, they look at Shinzo and's like, get up. And Shinzo's like, why would you? And then he like punches, Deku punches him in the face. And either that or DK, don't matter. Anyways, you get punched in the jaw, right? And he's like, learn how to fight. And if you're going to use your quirk, learn how it works. You can't rely on a quirk like that. If what they said is true and you got a quirk Brainwash, I presume there's some command man. Maybe you got to get them to talk or something. He's not sure. He's just guessing. If that's the case, use it wisely and also train your physical capabilities weekly. Let's go, guys. Everyone's like, Bakugo's angry. Like a little bit, but not mad, because like he's still young, so it hasn't fully developed. Plus it won't. So they're all like walking and shit. And Bakugo's like, God damn it. I wanted to take them, but Icy Hot at it, just take them off for himself. And then Deku's like, you okay, Uraraka? And she's like, yeah. DK's just like, yes. And so they basically go to the police and try to do that. And they're like asking if there's any way they can get help, blah, blah, blah. This is when things take a dark turn, if you may. So what ended up happening is they take him to the police. The kid, the officer on duty sees who the people are. Deku's holding him up with the float quirk. And the officer's like, yeah, we'll put them in a cell. So they're like, yeah, but we got something we want to show you. Long story short, they get captured, basically. And some time passes after they get this reward that is food and bounties, and let's just say they've been bamboozled. They all get knocked unconscious, and when they wake up, they're in this pit, or arena if made. They're like, what the fuck's going on? And this is where they would proceed to fight for about 2 to 3 hours. And they're fighting adults. Deku's pretty proficient when it comes to hand, so he's not too bad off with a quirk. DK is doing his own thing. He seems not to be having no trouble or panicking. Uraraka knows how to use her hand or her quirk hand to hand, basically, or like, efficiently. And so she's basically like making people fly out of their arena and shit. So they're literally fighting for their life for about 2 hours. And then like one of the ringleaders, like basically the who they fucked with is like one of the people that is associated with where they're at. And so you see like a leader head. It doesn't matter who he is, but like you see the leader head pull up. and he start dogging on them. You gonna hurt my man? He start beating on Uraraka's out, and then Todoroki and my brain died. Todoroki, Bakugo, and Deku, they're all trying to throw hands for dear life. He's like, I can see how you would hurt those weaklings. As he's grabbing Bakugo, and Bakugo proceeds to bite down. He's like, but you're weak compared to me. Bam, 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 bam. I have an enhancement quirk. As he like basically his shirt gets a little ripped, maybe because of fire from Todoroki. And I already knew martial arts. As he like flexed out a lot of ki. Plus, most of y'all probably don't even know what ki is. I'll kill you all here right now in front of everybody. They're fighting for dear life. And Uraraka's out, as I said. DK is just kind of right there, but he's just like... So when that happened, DK is like scheming. And the dudes are like, well, you wanted to go after the leader, so I guess I should do the same. And then you see blood. You see someone getting pierced. Blood gushing out everywhere. He's like, huh? What the? And you see DK bleeding out. Blood everywhere. And then he looks over to Deku and says, I've served my purpose. One of my quirks is knowing the future to an extent, but it's a long story. But I can tell you this, you're gonna have to use all of your power. It might be too far for you to use everyone's quirk here, but you're gonna have to use your forbidden technique. Goodbye, Bakugo. Work on your anger. It's okay to not be bad at the best. Todoroki, try to understand from your dad's positioning. Don't let the hate consume you. Uraraka, you might hear me vaguely, but be strong. All your parents probably want is for you to be happy. And Deku, don't let the guilt, don't let it consume you. Goodbye, guys. All you hear is, I'm done playing these games. Blood splatters out everywhere as you see. It's like a damn near gladiator type arena, but it's like a lot bigger. You just see blood splatter. DK is gone. He's out of commission. Say something if you want him to stay dead or be back. Because I set it up for both ways. Let the nigga know something. And so, what ended up happening? Deku's crying because he knows what he meant by that. They fight a little bit longer, but it's futile. It's not working. Todoroki and Bakugo are just like, what the fuck? And Deku's like crying. He's like, what's he talking about? Deku, yeah, Midoriya, if you got an idea, it would be great if you said it now, because at this rate, we're all gonna die, including Uraraka. What forbidden technique? It involves help from y'all. What is it, nerd? Just spit it out already. It's life or death right now. We can't become number one hero if we're dead. And Shinzo says, as much as it pains me to say this, he's right. Or he'd probably say the hothead or something. What is it? Are you sure? Deku! Midoriya! As he proceeds to rip all his clothes off. Not all of it, like he still has garments on, but basically he's shirtless and damn near, like he's in like compact shorts. And as like you just see like the aura, it's like a purple mist, but like not menacingly, just like a perfume kind of smell protrude from his body. And Bakugo going like, what? I have one move that's the strongest move I possess right now. But there's one downside. I can change someone's gender. It's like, okay, what's the issue? It's a one-time thing. Bakugo and Todoroki realizes. Will we remember No. It's almost like it affects reality to a high degree. You won't remember. And to be fair, I did this one time by accident. It's a long story. He just sheds a tear, and all you can hear is Papa. But once I do this, you'll be stuck that way forever, and you also won't remember. It's almost like changing that whole person's identity. Todoroki and Bakugo look at each other. We won't be able to be friends no more, for obvious reasons. And y'all won't remember. And they look at each other and says one thing simultaneously. Will you be able to win without powers? Deku with tears in his eyes. With one tear in one eye. Yes, I'll be able to win and destroy this whole thing like it never happened. Let's just say Todoroki had a necklace. He puts it on Deku. And let's just say Bakugo has like some type of wristband or something. He puts it on him. We'll probably all meet again. They're saying this all together or collectively. We'll probably meet again if we all go to the same school. Probably. So nobody's going to remember. There's only an exception. You'll only remember if you have somebody has a really strong love for you. So in your case, Todoroki, I don't think your dad will remember. And they all kind of laugh at that. But Bakugo, I'm not too sure. Your mom seems pretty nice. I know you're not trying to, make a move on my mom, are you? No, Bakugo. I will miss these interactions. Wait, will you remember? Yes. They all basically, his hand starts to glow as he did this. He's like, all right, so now I need to just prepare my... And then all you hear is, time to die! Enough of this chit-chat! As he charges in. Anime fashion, of course. Bakugo and Todoroki grabs his hand respectfully. And then Bakugo's like, nerd, you better not go soft on me, dog. Like he's like, you better not go soft on me without me being around. You might become a pushover. And Deku's like, I won't. And don't think just because I'm gonna be a girl and won't remember this, I won't kick your ass if you start slacking off. I'll remember this, Kacchan, as his hand starts to shake. Todoroki looks at him and is like, help me with social stuff. What? I'm gonna need help. I'm very socially awkward now, but if I'm a female, that's gonna be so much worse. Wait, why would I? Promise me. Yeah, bruh. Alright. Goodbye, guys. I'll see y'all later. As light starts to emit and just... Now you see a unconscious female Bakugo, and you see an unconscious Todoroki. That's a female. And all you see is a Deku. And since he used this ability, it also allows him to have an extremely large buff while using this capability. And energy is emitting, so it's almost like this nigga Super Saiyan on some type of shit. You see sparks of electricity everywhere, and you just see him. And he's like, the dude out there who were fighting, he's like, with tears in his eyes. I'll remember. He said one day. And then the camera is panning all sorts of ways while this is happening too. And you just see him. I'll learn a way to change y'all back. But for right now, for these next few years, y'all are going to have to live with this. Everything starts shaking. The whole area starts shaking. And you just see ice glaciers. Since he's emitting so much power, he puts ice in such a way to where his what is it? Not estrogen, but his essence are leaking out everywhere for all of the females in the audience to be consumed by this. And he redirected in such a way to come right back to him. So he's having a lot of quirks at once, and he's like, y'all will pay for this. He's like, new technique, gravity explosion. It's like these like super compact explosions that instead of being, needed to be contact or ignited, it's like he gets the estrogens and then ignited, makes it float, and it's like a throwable explosion, but it's like really compact. So he's just like, bam, 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 bam. He starts dogging on man deviously, bam. And dude's down on the ground already. Like, these explosions hit. He puts him like in an ice coffin. I'll play with you later. But he sets all his attentions out to everyone else. Y'all all will know pain. Gender bend. A massive amount of light shows everywhere. You just see Deku, just everyone's unconscious, and he's like, he goes up to the Goonies that he was dealing with earlier. He looks down on him. I could actually kill all of you right now, but you won't be able to punk all those people you were bullying. This area is notorious for its rape victims and crimes. It'd be a real shame if that happened to you. So he basically beats them all up, but like not enough to kill them, but enough to have them injured for a while. I think the fate that awaits you is far more worse. Plus, he also marked their names onto their forehead on who they used to be. I think this is justified. Now, for everyone else that's here, y'all will know cold. The half of the arena that he was on, frozen. It broke it. So they're going to be feeling cold even if they're in heat. And then the opposite is true for the other people. He's like, because when he gets the quirk, he's able to use it to like the highest level of efficiency on top of other stuff. So he just fucks them up. And he falls back down on this dude. And he's like, he grabs him by the skull and just rips him out of the ice ruthlessly. But he's still alive. He looks him in the eyes. You want to know something? I can also change the age of an individual, but I won't. Blood gushing out everywhere. Hits with a kick. Damn. Picks him up. Looks at him. Let's say about 18. He's an 18-year-old guy. He's like, oh, this is impossible. No, what's wrong? He was having fun beating on the weak. But it's not fun when the rabbit has the quirk. Don't forget, he's like 7. And the icing on the cake. Gender bend. No. He goes behind him. Wall looking this way, but the dude's down facing the other way. Whispers to him. Isn't it crazy? I wonder how many people you bullied. How many people you've taken advantage of. How many females you raped. Isn't that crazy? You know what's crazy about this too? One of the people in the audience has a weak quirk, but it allows them to speak telepathy. But it's very weak for their variation of it. But guess what? When I get a quirk, it gets stronger. You know how many mentally people I've called over? His face goes from terror to complete and utter fear and shock and disbelief at what's happening. No, that means, and since I'm able to also have another quirk that's able to go through people's memories. Let's just say, as he's looking down on him with the malicious, let's just say I was able to figure out who's who. And I told all the rivaling gangs where y'all are at. Think they're going to have a fun time with you. He turns up. Just kill me. Just kill me already. You're too weak. You're not. And this goes on for about 5 minutes. Deku has a minor healing quirk. Kills him, beats him, heals him, beats him. No. You wanted to kill me. He points over to DK's dead body. You didn't ask. You didn't want to keep that same energy prior. You will suffer, just like the rest of these people. And oh yeah, I notified some actual authorities. I made it very crystal clear where y'all are heading, the exact coordinates. Oh, and one more thing. That drug deal you got, as he puts his hand to the ground and it starts shaking, and he spreads it out with ice, and basically there's like this big giant ice of nitroglycerin and some other shit. It makes a giant explosion, basically blowing the whole area up, but not like harming anybody, because this Deku's God right now, and he's like, Damn, I even get the knowledge of all of you. It's impressive. Remember now, he's only used this move once and never again. So we're leaving a lot of room for extra. You feel me? So he picks up Uraraka and I don't know what the female name of Todoroki or Bakugo would be, but he picks them up with tears finally stopping throughout his eyes. And he flies up. Remember your decision and remember your regret. Keep your virginity intact. And it's just like a maniacal evil laugh as Deku makes like this ice sculpture and just basically makes something in the eye, the sky, and just saying like he's naming who's who and who's where as he flies off, and he's just like boosh, and just burst off. An incredible speed. Deku's. Uraraka, you're the closest, so you get dropped off first. As Uraraka's wavering from consciousness and consciousness, he looks at her, puts some warm ice, special technique, some warm ice around her while also healing her. And then Deku hears that like, where was y'all or whatever, and he basically says, like, let's say they know about DK, and DK also told him some stuff when they pulled him to the side. He's like, if anything goes wrong, if for whatever reason you make it back home, like DK had this plan, so don't question it. And he's like, where was y'all? And then he just shows them the flyer, and it's like, it was like a little event, blah blah blah. They knew he was lying because of the news when they took down the villains and the issue that happened. But they let it go because they could see that something happened, but Uraraka's safe, and that's really all that matters. He flies off. Bakugo is dropped off. Actually, no. Todoroki's dropped off, then Bakugo. He heals her up all the way, and he's like, all right. Then he teleports. He doesn't teleport, but he gets there. He gets to Bakugo's mom. He's like, we got rubbed up, met into some random bad people, and he basically started saying all this stuff, but she just told him to get in the house and made sure they put Bakugo to sleep, and then she slaps him and then grabs him and hugs him. You should have called me. He's like, wait, what? I don't know what happened to you, but during the time he was sending out this message, it happened. He sent it out to her by accident, and maybe it was because Bakugo was touching Deku, but like he didn't know she was unconscious at the time. He wasn't paying attention. He was just trying to fuck this dude up. And he was like, I can't believe all that happened to you. This was in the midst of it. Like, it's not an instant thing that happens, but it happens fairly fast. So it was just kind of like Bakugo was in the in-between space before the full 100% transformation complete. And he was like, wait, I'm sorry, but I know. I can see your memories. Somebody else had a memory sharing quirk, convenient as hell. And I can see you had no other choice. I'm sorry about your friend DK. I'm sorry this had to happen. Wait, does that mean you? Yes, I know I used to have a baby boy. We both do, as Bakugo dads pull us in. But we're gonna love her the same and not mention anything unless she brings it up. But if you would be so kind to keep an eye on her, I promise it's okay. You're only 7 years old and you've already been through your fair share of traumas. I can't believe that thing that happened with your dad really did happen. I thought it was just a story of you kids talking. I heard you and Bakugo talking about it, but I didn't believe it. I always wondered why you covered yourself up, but I see. And Deku, she says this, he panics and he like reels back from her. Wait, as she has like nose plugs in her. As he sees that her eyes are closed as she's saying this with tears and her nose is stuffed. And she's like, don't worry. I took the precautions, even though she probably still can get affected, but she's like, as long as you're around me, I'm going to make sure you can feel home. You're normal. It's okay. Wait, what about my mom though? As she both cries. She was out looking for you, and she thought she found you, but she's dead. As Deku cries and just falls into a pit of despair. Wait, no, but it's not your fault. It was a villain out on the loose. Apparently he came to help the people y'all fought off because they knew what really happened just because of what was being described. And so it's okay. It's okay. And this is not where we ended off yet. Hold up, I gotta finish explaining this. So basically, she thought that Muscular knew something, but he didn't, and he just killed her. And Deku's mom is dead. And she said, "Don't worry. I told Inko if anything ever happens to you, to her, we'll take care of you as you're your own." He couldn't do it no more. He reached the limit of his capabilities. He reached the limit of his power, and he's done. He passes out, and that is where we would end part 3 to What If Deku Had a Harem Quirk. I made the video a little longer because it took me 100 years to make it. Catch you niggas later.